Ever since high school started, I've been questioning everything, especially why I do the things I do. Why do I wake up in the morning? Why do I get dressed and go to school? Why do I have to go to university? Why do I have to do my homework? Life started to feel like it had no purpose. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, and I was scared I'd just end up living an extremely purposeless, unhappy life. And that's when I realized it's because my entire life I've been doing things to please others and not myself. Growing up as a South Asian, caring about what people think is such a major part of our lives. We would hear our mothers ask, what would she think or what would he think, many times in our lives. Some families put what people think about you over your own happiness, but it shouldn't be that way. Real family and friends do not talk about you behind your back. That's toxic. So even if you can't just walk away from them, the least you could do is not care about what they think. Let's start with clothes. Be honest, do you actually dress the way you want to? Or are you scared your auntie will talk about you or your friends will call you fat and ugly? Do you put your clothes on only to take them off and wear something else because you convince yourself you look bad anyways? Do you somehow work up the courage to actually wear what you want and then sit around awkwardly wishing you wore something else because now you feel uncomfortable? Everyone's staring at you, aren't they? They're not. Think about it. You're walking down the road and you see someone wearing the most obnoxious thing in the world. You'd glance at them for a few seconds and go about your day. You probably will not think about them for the rest of the day, and you definitely will not remember their face. So then why do we just assume other people don't do the same? Just because someone is looking at you doesn't mean they're judging you. They could think you look amazing and they just might be too shy to say so. Sometimes it helps to just assume the best intent of people, but I know that's not always possible. Sometimes you know that someone's judging you. So in that situation, how do you stop caring? I thought about this a lot before applying to universities. I was stuck between what I wanted to do and what I felt like I should be doing. But I realized there's no way I'll spend 8 or 12 years in university doing math and science. I wasn't gonna sacrifice my life and do something I'm not passionate about at all just so others would be happy. But now my relatives call and ask, you're doing life sciences, right? Oh, engineering? Why don't you become a lawyer? And now if you don't go into programs related to these 3 careers, your program is automatically a stupid program. And I know they'll talk. You know that girl Lava? She's going into stupid people program because she didn't have good enough grades to become a doctor or an engineer. So now you have no choice but to get extremely high grades and take classes you don't even need just to prove that you were enough and the program you're going into was completely your choice. But you know what I realized? What qualification do these people have to say something? Most of the time, they don't know anything about these programs and degrees, so who are they to talk? They all have this idea that there's only one pathway to success, when in reality, your path to success is one you pave yourself. There's definitely something deep inside that you always wanted to do. Your eyes light up and you get excited just thinking about it. But that thing just seems so far away and unattainable. You think people will call you crazy or make fun of you, but who cares? People will talk about you if you succeed and people will talk about you if you fail. So why don't you give them something juicy to talk about? And now boys. Oh boy. You can't hang out with boys because your relatives will talk about you. But if you're 22 and you don't know who you're gonna marry, then they try to figure out what's wrong with you. No one looks at who their kids are hanging out with, whether they're drug dealers or gang members, but you hanging out with someone of the opposite gender. That's hot news that immediately needs to be reported to your extended family back home. But do you ever realize they only do this to cover up the things going on in their own families? People talk badly about others to feel better about their own situation. If you aren't perfect, you have no right to comment on someone else's life. And no one's perfect, meaning everyone should mind their own business. Now tell me, did you always care so much about what people thought? I remember myself in middle school. I wasn't the prettiest or the smartest, but for some reason, I was so confident. And I'm sure if you think hard enough, you could probably figure out what that point was in your life where you lost all of the confidence you had. It could be school, bullies, a certain teacher, maybe family members. But let me tell you this, confidence is so important. Whether you're faking it or not, you walking up straight with your head high says something. It really changes the way people see you. Unconfident people are the easiest to bully because they're easily influenced. People are less likely to say something to you if you're confident. But the best part is, you won't even listen to them if they do. If you're confident in yourself, the way you look, and the things you do, no one's opinions will get in the way of you being who you want to be. Now obviously, don't just turn a blind eye to constructive criticism. Not everyone that tells you their opinion is coming from a place of hate, but choose whose opinions you listen to wisely. A random man on Instagram telling you suck at art should not stop you from doing art, because what qualification does that person have to tell you that? Someone who doesn't dress like you telling you your outfit is ugly doesn't matter, because that's just their taste and it doesn't make it true. The list just goes on. Let me summarize for you now. I'm not telling you to be completely reckless. You have no choice but to care to some extent sometimes. You can't start acting crazy in public or go to work late every day because who cares? So care and be considerate of other people, their opinions and feelings, but not more than you care about yourself, your dreams, and your feelings. You're not selfish for not wanting to do things for other people. Your care for others' opinions should never stop you from being who you want to be. If you're living for other people, you're bound to become exhausted with how unsatisfied everyone is. Loose clothes make you look short. Tight clothes make you look skinny. Too covered, you're dressed like an auntie. Not covered enough, you already know what I'm gonna say. You hang out with your friends all the time, your parents didn't discipline you enough. You're always home alone studying, you have no life. You embrace your culture, you're a fob. You don't know much about your culture, you're whitewashed. You've had 3 boyfriends, ew, gross. You've never had a boyfriend, I wonder why no one likes you. You get bad grades, you're dumb. You get good grades, you're a tryhard. You're not becoming a doctor, your degree is useless. You're going into med school with a 100K scholarship, you had connections and they got it for you. People will never ever be satisfied. I'm not saying life will become perfect once you start doing things for yourself. You will have hard times and you will think about giving into what other people think. You might feel like you made a mistake in your choice of friends or degree, but that's okay. The purpose of life is not to get the most well-paying job or to satisfy everyone you know or immediately marry the best person in the world. Life is for living. Life is for gaining experiences. And life will eventually get better. The more you live for yourself, the more you'll slowly figure out who you are. Sometimes we forget other people are playing a role in our lives and not vice versa. You are the main character of your own life. Don't spend your entire life being a side character in another person's life. The world needs you for you. So do what you want. Wear what you want. Be who you want, because it's your world and they're just living in it.